Yeah. All right, everybody, this is a live update. We have an imminent tornado threat right now near Brooksville, Mississippi. This is right where we were actually live last year during that Easter Sunday outbreak. But this is heading toward Cliftonville. This is in the Brooksville area. There's a north-south road that comes into Brooksville there that this thing just crossed. There's also an east road up here toward Cliftonville. I was chasing this storm last April. Sorry about that, Gizmo. But anyway, here is the tornado threat, and it actually has a convective element just to its southeast, similar to how that confirmed tornado happened just to the south of Memphis during the earlier live. We saw that strong mesocyclone on there, and if I just would have hit the TDWR radar, we would have seen tornado genesis. But now we're seeing tornado genesis, it looks like here, just to the east of the Brooksville area. So I know there's a north-south road here, because if I would have kept driving a couple more miles to the south, we would have seen that wedge cross this road, and then I would have continued to chase it on that easterly road, probably doing the similar thing. I probably would have still taken that east option here to be just north of this tornado to time it to where it had produced, but this thing was already producing before it crossed this north-south road back around Easter, April. Right now, though, time 8:08 p.m. Central Time, and we've got a tornado imminent here forming to the east of Brooksville. It is happening. There's about 300 to 400 0 to 1 kilometer helicity out here too, so wind shear more than sufficient for that tornado threat. And looking at reflectivity, it's interesting because you do have a lot of convective debris here in the inflow region. You've even got this storm that looks like it's trying to take on some supercellular characteristics. Little RFD action there and forward flank already with that little supercell just southeast of Pickensville. It's on the Alabama side, moving off to the east-northeast. This one could go tornadic next. But this is the reflectivity pattern. You can kind of see a strung out rear flank downdraft extending from the south side. A little bit of a hook. You can almost see where the RFD is there. The sinking motion on the backside of that mesocyclone. Kind of the forward flank downdraft right here. And right in the notch. Well, actually, I think this circulation now is right up in that area. So it's kind of a longer RFD. Circulation probably embedded within the rain there to the east of Brooksville, just southeast of Brooksville. New tornado warning advanced to the east. But if you live in Cliftonville, you definitely want to take shelter, be in your safe place. Togo, Ravine, any of these areas. I was just chasing in this area. Still radar indicated tornado. But when we were doing that last live, we were breaking down that supercell on the backside of all that precipitation, and underneath that strong mesocyclone was an actual tornado, confirmed with the correlation drop. I should have looked at it during the live. I was pretty focused on my live class, which is coming up later at 7 p.m., so I wasn't looking at the full suite of radar products. Brandon Clement sent me an email and shared that image of the other radar, and holy cow, you could really see tornado genesis happening there, right on radar. Debris from regular radar with a correlation drop all the way up thousands of feet in the air. So it definitely did damage there to the south of Memphis. The National Weather Service will have to head out there. And look at that. Just expanded the tornado warning westward. Maybe to account for this little convergent line off to the south, just in case another mesocyclone spins up down there as well. But the tornado is just to the east of Brooksville right now. Moving almost due east. Cliftonville, you've got big problems. Ravine, both of those areas right in the path of this potential tornado. Togo, you probably want to be in your safe place as well. See a lot of inflow. This thing is just getting going too. This is going to be a long-lived mesocyclone. Big swath of inflow on the east side here. Let's see if we have any correlation drops that might indicate a tornado in progress. I'm not seeing anything yet, but you'll probably see one of those little blue balls form up here. maybe something just to the east of Brooksville, but probably not. We'll see here in later scans if that expands. But that is about where it would be. Definitely some big northerlies starting to rip into this mesocyclone on the backside, likely streaming in vorticity from the north into this tornado, developing tornado. Pretty soon we're going to see a correlation drop with this. It's only a matter of time, especially given the environment that it's moving into. Definitely wrapped in rain. Kind of see the inflow notch there. Definitely see the mesocyclone here as well. This is the Columbus radar. A lot of rain with that. This is going to be the next storm of interest there. Looks like a bit more of a classic supercell configuration on the reflectivity. It's a lead storm. Gordo in Alabama. You want to watch that storm just to the east of Pickensville. Rotation on it. It's going to gradually increase. Not as much yet, but definitely strong rotation with that RFD really starting to organize. East of Brooksville now, knocking on the doorstep of Cliftonville, Ravine, eventually Pickensville, Alabama. This thing's moving almost due east now, so there's a ton of low-level helicity when you have a due easterly storm motion. Looking at some of these comments. Yeah, it's pretty busy. At least one tornado so far has happened. That was just to the south of Memphis. Probably about to get another one here in eastern Mississippi, east of Brooksville, headed toward Cliftonville, Mississippi, Ravine. I'm waiting for a decent mesocyclone to form out here, too, with this storm. It takes a little while for these mesocyclones with a little bit of static stability right at the low levels for these to drill through that stable layer at the surface. They really need a good, deep, organized mesocyclone like this. And eventually this is going to drill through that shallow, stable layer. It's probably producing a tornado right now. Be a tough one to chase. You can definitely see the echo tops of this highly sheared, tilted mesocyclone. The rotation of a deep mesocyclone enhances the updraft, and that's why this one is taller than all the other storms around it. This one, too, is starting to organize off to the east. And change the color. This storm next, we got to start watching for an expansion of those echo tops as that mesocyclone organizes there off to the east. But this is a mesocyclone. The low-level mesocyclones due east of Brooksville, so it's strongly tilted from southwest to northeast with a very strong jet stream winds. Sometimes echo tops are a good way to pick out mesocyclones within a convective line like this. Look at just southwest of Macon, Mississippi. There could be another mesocyclone organizing out there. And here you can see a gradient to the reflectivity as well on that south side. That's a sign of strong inflow in general. Maybe an organizing mesocyclone within there. Boy, that one's about to produce a tornado east of Brooksville, very close to Cliftonville. It just couples a little bit. There's definitely going to be a tornado, but the RFD is organizing. Probably big northerlies pulling in vorticity from the north here. Little surge in the inflow, too. Just watching for that correlation drop to confirm a tornado, but a really well-defined low-level mesocyclone, basically that vacuum cleaner just above the ground. So any eddy or spin underneath it can be a candidate to couple with that updraft. This is the Radar Omega app. Watching this tornado threat. And they also have a new Furuno radar unit that got added to the app. It's right here near is it Lawrenceburg. And this is a radar hole out there too, so you can definitely use this radar to track this convective line, which is near Waynesboro right now. And watch for supercells that could develop. But that definitely takes the place of a radar hole well to the southwest of Nashville there, to the northwest of Huntsville. Definitely a hot spot within Dixie Alley for tornadoes. I've chased a lot through there last year. Let's see what the next radar scan brings us. It's still kind of broad, so I'm not seeing anything that screams there's a tornado happening right now, but it looks like it's trying to organize still. Takes a little bit of time to drill through the shallow stable layer that's right near the surface. Hopefully it takes long enough to where this thing forms to the east of Cliftonville, because it looks like it's trying to touch down right near town. Bigby Valley, down toward Ravine. Big problems there. Pickensville eventually. You might as well start taking shelter already. Looks like the RFD may be starting to swing around the backside. That circulation trying to pivot. Maybe it might move a little south of Cliftonville too. Anything underneath this low-level mesocyclone, any eddy is a candidate to be stretched into the vertical and become a tornado. Looks to me like just noise. Maybe some lower correlation values starting to show up there to the south. The circulation is somewhere in there. Might be able to see the hint of that structure in there. So the tornado is probably near or just to the south of Cliftonville, but it looks like that kind of lost. Maybe it'll be weakening before Cliftonville, but could tighten into a tornado at any second. This could be trying to organize down the road. That's a pretty tight gradient to that reflectivity there. A sign of maybe some strong inflow into the storm. And even though that supercell, which you can definitely see it right here, there you can see the forward flank, gust front. Beautiful, geez. Tornadoes probably right about there. You can definitely see it's a well-developed long track supercell that's embedded within that line. Surprisingly, this one's kind of slow to organize so far. This could be one of those really long track, just single tornado-warned storms. It goes all the way across northern Alabama here. Looks like some other storms trying to develop. This one to the south of Tupelo looks pretty interesting. Not much on rotation yet, though, which is good. Watch that thing just pop out. You can definitely see the mesocyclone. Wonder if there's another one trying to organize down here to the southwest of Macon. They take a while to organize. They'll appear, and then the low-level mesocyclone has to drill through a shallow, stable layer But definitely dangerous storm right there. Long track. Mesocyclone. Looks like another inflow pop trying to organize. Kind of displaced from the rear flank downdraft a bit. But if these get coupled, it'll produce a tornado within a matter of seconds. That was earlier. Now it's out here, kind of less organized. Good news for Cliftonville. I don't think it produced. Uh-oh. No. So the tops came down a little bit there, just as the mesocyclone was also weakening. But usually these storms will kind of breathe in and out like this. They'll intensify, produce a tornado, the tops will come down, they'll build back up, and then produce another tornado, and then the tops will come down. And they kind of, almost a cyclic fashion, just breathe in and out like that. So this just could be a temporary lull. But you can see that the tops have come down a little bit. Earlier, when it was closer to Brooksville, that's when we really thought a tornado was about to happen, when those echotops were maximized on this storm. Or about these further downstream. Elevated. So really that's the only one that has a threat, but look at all these, the increasing coverage in general, this convection and moving northeast. I think there's probably definitely a threat of tornadoes for a while through this evening across northwestern Alabama, especially out here. Further north, kind of a really strung out looking supercell there. Couple little wiggles in the line, though, that you could watch, but nothing that looks imminent for a tornado threat. Wonder about these areas down here, further down the line. Couple little mesocyclones, maybe, better within the convective line. Definitely watch those areas, too. Doesn't take much convection in such a strongly sheared environment to generate a tornado threat. This stuff is all elevated here, but it looks like these are surface based enough to develop a tornado threat anywhere along that line. Nothing imminent, but could easily happen. Looking at the Lawrenceburg radar. This is the long track supercell with tornado potential. See if look at velocity, updated imagery. It looks like it's weakening with time, which is good news, but still has tornado potential. To the north of Ravine, it's going to pass pretty close to Pickensville, probably just to the north of Pickensville, but certainly want to be prepared to get in your safe place just in case this tornado warning is extended. But it does look like overall the rotation is starting to get a little weaker with this, but closing into Bigby Valley, definitely want to be in your safe place right now because basically it's overhead. If you're not in your safe place, it might even be too late almost. But I think that it's not a tornado. It looks like a weakening mesocyclone, but these can tighten up within one scan before you can even see it on radar. So definitely if tornado warning's issued, get in your safe place. Bigby Valley. Here in about 5 minutes, though, it'll be east of you. And then Pickensville could be next. But I I think I might hit the road and try to chase this stuff. Maybe head toward Tennessee. So we're going to tour that radar tomorrow with Radar Omega. But anyway, be safe, everybody out there. Pretty dangerous weather. Pickensville, Alabama, just about to cross the Mississippi line. The only tornado-warned storm right now. Stay safe.